Hey guys, it's Adam. I want to take a moment and personally thank you for listening to our shows, for downloading our shows, and for sharing them with your friends. With your guys' support, we just moved the Twisted 10 into the threshold of the top 100 comedy shows in iTunes. It made it to number 99, granted, just barely crept in there. However, that's still monumental for us. Out of the tens of thousands of podcasts that are out there, that's one of the most difficult categories to breach into. Thank you very, very much for helping us to get there. If you haven't already done so, please go give us a 5-star rating and give us a review, a short little 1-line, 2-line review, letting us know that you enjoy the show. iTunes reviews are like podcast currency. It legitifies the show, it allows us to get better guests, and it allows our sponsors to really see that we're reaching the listeners that are out there. If you haven't done so yet, please go do it. We would greatly appreciate it. We've got a ton on the horizon from Dichotomy Media, a lot more on our YouTube channel, more Get Out Penny cartoons, all sorts of stuff. So please help us by giving us that 5-star rating and a little review. Thank you very much and enjoy the show.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. All 3 engines up and burning. 2, 1, 0, and liftoff.
1, 2, 3, 4.
You're listening to the Twisted 10, bringing you original and unique, host-created top 10 lists, recorded live in world-famous Cocoa Beach, Florida, with hosts Tach Van Sickle and Adam Poston.
All right, welcome to a very special edition of the Twisted 10. We don't have our normal hosts in studio this week. Jay and Tack are both out, but I am Adam. I'm one of your normal regular hosts, sitting over on the Lady Chase to my right now, which is a little weird. I usually look to my left to see you, but hey, you're on the right side this time. That's all right.
Moved everything around. You never know with a woman. Change things up. Hi, I'm Andrea Joy.
Sitting as a guest in studio this week to observe is friend of the show and personal friend of Andrea's and mine, Mr. Dan. Hello. Oh, yeah, you know what that means. Neither one of us are hosting this week. This week we have a very, very special guest that has driven down all the way from Georgia. We call him Trey. Everyone else knows him as Tall Trey Comedy. Mr. Trey Easterling. How are you doing, Trey?
I am good. I'm excited to be here.
Heck yeah. We appreciate your love and support of the show. You share it out all the time. That's super helpful for us. This is an off-schedule recording, so this is going to be a bonus show for anybody that's paying attention to our release schedule. So this week you're going to get 2 episodes of the Twisted 10.
Ooh, yeah. Special.
Yeah, Trey is special this week, let me tell you. And I say Tall Trey Comedy. Tell them a little bit about you, Trey, just so they know who you are and what you do and where you come from and the little group of friends that we have and how we know each other.
All right, so basically I am 6.5 feet tall. I am straight out of Georgia. I was born in a little small town called Warner Robins.
From a small town?
The Allman Brothers are buried because Greg just passed and is going to probably get buried in Macon beside his brother, who's also buried in, I think, Rose Hill Cemetery in Georgia. So Warner Robins right beside there.
Nice. I've got family in, is it Duluth? Where do they live? Where's my grandmother and aunt and uncle live?
I don't know.
Well, we were just over hanging out with them. All right, so Trey is... Number one, Trey is I got introduced to Trey through our buddy Josh Wilson, through our group of circle of friends. By the way, look on the wall over there past the pool table. You see the teamwork banner hanging up over there. Aaron was kind enough to hook me up with one of those. Even though I didn't make it to the camping trip this year, he still hooked me up with one of them.
Oh, yeah. Cool. We got ours hung up in our living room now. Be in the new house next week.
Nice. So Trey comes from us, a small circle of friends. However, Trey now has taken on a new venture and does stand-up comedy. So you're touring around in Georgia and then occasionally down here in Brevard, down at like the open mics down in Melbourne. And maybe if I can work with Jay with you a little bit, get you over at Gregory's one of the weekends that he's doing Gregory's. Those are some pretty good featured gigs. They're not bad.
Yeah, I'd be more than happy to do that. I'm talking to a guy, Carlos Perry, that does work here in Florida. He's doing a show with us at Cox Capitol Theater. That's July 25th
nice.
In Macon. That is the nicest venue.
That's awesome.
In the area.
I've seen you stream some of those things live and your stand-up. So watching stand-up, I've seen, 20 shows down here. And dude, you nail it on stage. You've got more balls than a lot of people do. Getting up in front of a crowd and all the attention is on you is sometimes very intimidating. And I think a lot of people that go and partake and watch don't really understand the drive that is needed to get up there and do it. Dude, you own it. You've developed your skills on stage really well, and we love coming to watch you down at Old School or whenever you're down here. It's Ray Brito's gig down there. Give him a little bit of a plug. Yeah, dude, we're impressed. You're doing really, really well. Doing some big things.
Well, thanks. And yeah, I do try and live stream all of it. It is Tall Trey Comedy on Facebook. Just because I was in the Marine Corps for 5 years, I have friends scattered all across the globe, and I want everybody to be able to enjoy it if they can. Again, military humor is pitch black dark. So
I was a contractor for a little time. Doesn't quite get me the enlisted status that you guys have, but yeah, I know that translates down. Most of those folks are all prior military too.
Oh yeah, well, I did a clean set at Wellston Station. Real nice venue there, but it's very upscale. And I did a clean set there, just about how tall I am and questions I have for normal sized people and why they come up to me all the time. And a lot of them liked it. And though I warned them, this is not my usual comedy. It's very adult on the thing. They all went to it anyway and were very, very surprised at the stark difference in the two.
Nice. Oh, that's awesome. So let me talk about Twisted 10 for just a minute. So if you're a fan of Trey's and are following him and are new to this show, the Twisted 10 is a top 10 list podcast that each week one of our regular hosts like me, Tach, Jay, or Andrea, or a guest host like Trey in this situation, brings a top 10 list, a unique top 10 list, unique to either their lives or their experiences or just something crazy that they made up. They bring it to our listeners and to the hosts of this show. Each week that happens, we're going to have 2 this week, luckily, for us. And we've got the demand out there. People are asking for more content. So, Trey, you're filling in that demand. So thank you kindly for that. But yeah, so that happens each week. We publish it out there for you guys to listen to on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play Music, any of the locations you're going to hear podcasts. So before we start your list, you were doing a show. I want to hear the story from you again, because I told you to save some of the story for the podcast. What happened where you had some recognition when you dropped a name of ours, a little old podcast out of Brevard? What happened with that?
All right. So one of the bigger bars in Macon is the Hummingbird. That is just where most of Macon's nightlife goes down. Every week or so, Brent Thompson, a friend of mine, hosts an open mic there. And it's usually music, but there was no comedy scene in my area. None. And Buddy led us at Rocco's, where we have a show June 30th at 8 p.m. It is over 2 hours of comedy for only $5 a person.
Damn, not bad.
Yeah.
How many different performers do you have coming up on that?
I know we have 4 people doing 30-minute sets, as well as me hosting, as well as others.
Nice.
So I don't remember the total number offhand, but it is going to be a great show. I've handpicked the entire lineup, and
so you're now going after features as well. So you're getting like the talent and putting them together and like creating rooms. Is that?
I just got tired of driving everywhere, so I'm
nice.
like, all right. I used to do some local hardcore band booking back in the day. Let me just correlate this over into something to where I can at least practice my comedy. And then it became, oh, you've got a room. And now Rocco's, I get to do longer sets. Usually as a comedian, you're only getting 3-minute, 5-minute, or 10-minute slots when you first start out, which is great, but then it stops. The only time you get 30 minutes is when you're headlining. That doesn't let comedians get to practice that longer stuff, that stuff to where if you get a special, if you get some actual time. And so I'm trying to have that there to help all of us, as well as just to enjoy it, because I'm sorry, I have the greatest job right now. I travel, I hang out with the funniest people ever, and I hear the most bizarre tales I have ever heard.
Yeah. So with that, we listen. Getting your ropes in is kind of the like getting in your laps is kind of the same thing with stand-up comedy, as I've learned that it is with podcasting. When you do podcasting, it's exactly the same thing. It's not quite as intense as comedy, in my opinion, because you aren't in front of a room of people that you're performing in front of, and there's a lot of work in post-production for podcasts that helps out a lot, just saying. But it's the same thing. So you get your ropes. You get your ropes. Is that the term? What's the term I'm looking for? You get your
Pay your dues.
Pay your dues. Yeah, there you go. Pay your dues. Like our boy, so one of our good friends in the area just had a show up here at the Moose Lodge, right? Like from where we are, maybe another 5 minutes down the road. That was Duncan J. That dude's been doing comedy in this area for a long time.
Is that the older guy that went at the end?
Yeah, at the Moose Lodge over here?
No, I'm sorry. I'm thinking of
He's talking about
old
old Jeff at Old School Pizza.
Oh, yeah, no.
You didn't make it that night.
No, I don't think I made it that night. The night that I saw you was Ray Burrito's night, hosting night down there. And Jesus, we had about 15 people from our group that came out and showed.
Got wild.
Oh, that was my favorite show.
Was it?
Oh,
nice.
yeah.
Yeah, that was a fun time. We kind of took over that little bar. It's just kind of what happens. But
the last show, there was this random old guy. He just looked like a random old guy that you'd see wandering around Melbourne. He had like a windbreaker on and
really
short shorts, old guy short, and a goofy hat. And he came in and he sat right next to us. And he's like, "Is it okay if I sit here?" Like, yeah. We moved to the other end of the table. Didn't say immediately like, "Oh, we have like 12 people possibly showing up."
Yeah.
He's just like, "Oh, okay." And from that point on, it was really awkward. And then at the end of the night,
he was the funniest one of all of us.
We didn't know he was a comic.
Oh, he was a comic?
We just thought he was a creepy old dude. And then Ray got up there and announced him. And he's like, and you know, much to my dismay, he's bothered me enough and we needed another slot. So this is, I don't remember. I keep wanting to think it was Jeff.
Nice.
And I think it was old Jeff in my mind because but he got up there and just slayed it.
Really?
He made everyone else there look like amateurs, and I didn't even know he was I just thought he was this old dude.
He was an older guy, and he's like, "Oh yeah, all y'all new comics, this is your future." And I'm just like, "Oh." That's the most terrifying joke since Idiocracy.
Oh, I love that movie and hate it at the same
Yeah, Camacho's real if The Rock wins.
Yeah. Right? Yes, agreed.
We have President Dorito already.
I was just listening to Congressional Dish political podcast. We had her on for one of the Twisted Tens, and she's fucking great. Her latest one is on the American Healthcare Act, the new one that was passed, and exactly what it meant and what was going to happen and the bullshit behind this. If you like politics, go check out Congressional Dish. I'll give her another little plug. She was a sport and brought us a Twisted 10 as well. But okay, you ready to get into your list? Oh, wait. No, we wanted to bring up your story about the listener.
Yep. All right. So my buddy Brent Hummingbird. Anyway. So I go up there and I do some comedy because it's something that is not available. I had to make a market myself by going to Rocco's, which is the first place to give us a chance for the show. And on Monday night in the rain, we brought 20 people out and tore down the house. Afterwards, I'm going out there and me and you had talked and I'm like, I'm talking to the Twisted 10 and living podcariously. I might get to go on there and host and, hang out. And some dude just stopped.
Some random dude?
I probably bumped into him because I do frequent these kinds of venues and I'm 6.5 feet tall. I can't remember everybody.
kind of memorable.
Yeah. He's like, "Oh my God, I listened to both of those. You know, freaking Adam and the guys." And I'm like,
"That's fucking awesome."
Yeah, man. You want me to call him? I mean, it's like 10:30 at night, but he'll pick up. He's like, "No, that show's just awesome."
That's really cool.
That's great.
We've never had, so when we first started our podcast way back in the day, we got about 30 episodes in before we rebooted into our current format, and I got recognized once in public. I'm like, holy shit, it's happening. And I've never since then, never happened again. But that's all right. That's okay. It's more about putting out the product than anything else. So, yeah, that's cool, though. Well, what do you have the guy's name that was up there? Give him a shout out?
Yeah, the guy's name is Eric Tyler. Chris rad you out. And this is your shout out.
Eric Tyler?
Eric Tyler from Macon.
Eric, thanks for listening, bud. You got to shoot us an email. Send us some information. We'll send you up a sticker and maybe a beer mug when we get them in stock and things like that. Thanks for the love and support all the way up in Georgia. We appreciate it.
Beer mugs?
Yeah, beer mugs. You guys
the
already
kind
have.
You put beer in?
Wait, I do?
You guys get two. So
we'll
throw this out there for the other podcast that we've got for Living Podcariously. We have a listener event coming up July 7th at 7 p.m. The 777 Get Lucky the Idiot. And if you're a Patreon subscriber or pledge to that show, to Living Podcariously, you get a free beer mug and stickers. I have actually got a few over there that we just had sent in to us for samples. So if there's extras, I'll hook you guys up tonight. If not, it'll be a few weeks till I get them in. But For $5 a month on Patreon, you get access to bonus content for Living Podcariously, and we're going to do the same for Twisted 10 eventually, but not yet, as well as some of the freebies that we're going to have down the road. So beer mugs, one type of shirt of some kind. The next one you'd have to buy, but anybody donating the $5 gets one for free eventually. So once we have the stock of that stuff in, we'll just send it down to you guys. So Stephanie hooked you guys up already, so you have 2 coming your way. So you each have a beer mug coming. She did a $10 Patreon pledge, so you guys have 2. And that covers you guys at that event for unlimited beer until the 2 kegs run out.
I'm so excited about that event.
Dude, I am too. I saw Hot Pink playing online today, live at a private party here on Merritt Island. Somebody's back pool patio area, just like if they were playing back here with like 35 people in the pool. It was fucking fabulous. They're awesome.
That'd be fun.
I mean, I really like the Idiot as a bar, like the location, because you can be outside, smoking or vaping and drinking at the same time, and there's nothing across the street. The speed limit's 15. It's
a safe atmosphere. It's a fun. Yeah, it's very comfortable.
And you could bring Carl.
And I can bring my dog if I want to.
Yep.
But I live so far away, I don't get to go there often.
You should for his birthday.
For Carl's birthday?
Yes, for Carl's birthday.
His birthday's Halloween.
Carl's 100-pound.
He's like 100.
Mix.
I started feeding him twice as much food.
Oh my god!
So now he's 300 pounds.
No, he's just gotten like really thick. He's starting to look more like a Rottweiler and less like a German Shepherd.
He's a defensive lineman at this point as a dog. Like
Miami Dolphins are knocking on your door trying to get, trying to recruit him.
He's like Holyfield.
All right, so let's get into Trey's list now. I got a little teaser about what this is, but let's let Trey take it away. So in these situations, Trey, the rest of the show is yours. So basically we go 10 through 6. So you read us your top 10. We have commentary between each one of them. We take a break after number 6 is over. Then we come back and you do your last 5. Anytime during there, I mean, it's your show, so you can plug anything you want, any of your places you're going to be, any of that shit. Feel free. Do you need another light on behind you, by the way, or is that?
No, it should be good.
Okay.
I definitely have some things to promote. First of all, myself, Tall Trey Comedy on Facebook. I'm also on Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat. You can hit me up on there.
We'll put all the links, by the way, all the links to your Facebook, to all those Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, all that stuff inside the show notes. So if you're listening to this and want to, not have to write it down while you're driving or something, just check the show notes when you get to a place where you can stop. All those links will be in there so you can check out Trey's social media.
Awesome. And yes, if you're going to be in the Middle Georgia area, I have a show June 30th, Friday at Rocco's Bar. It is over 2 hours of comedy. It's only $5. It starts at 8. Y'all should come out. I have also another show where I'm going to be headlining with H.T. Rosen of Jew and a Black Guy. And if you want to check him out, yes, it's www.htrosen.com or ajewandablackguy.com. And
something tells me my work will prohibit me from going to that address. I mean, just the URL itself, but that's funny.
They are hilarious.
Sweet.
And HT's been there. He was there at the first comedy show I did over in Athens. Was with the comic strip with Aaliyah Gaucher, and that's spelled Gosheh. Just in case y'all wanted to know how it was pronounced, I had to ask too. That's Aaliyah. She's super sweet. Female comic, which is even rarer. And she hosts shows in Athens. She's also come out and done shows in the Middle Georgia area with me. And she always brings it.
Do they give sandwiches to get laughs? I don't understand. I'm just kidding. Don't throw anything. Andrea's scowling at me.
Yeah, well, the guy that got me into comedy is Swervin' Irvin, and it's Irvin with an E. I have to give a huge shout out to him. Without him, I wouldn't even tried this. He's in Colorado right now.
Damn, hook it up.
Trying to just get a new demographic because the Middle Georgia area is pretty hit or miss with the comedy.
Well, we know what he's in Colorado for.
Oh, yeah. He actually has something he calls the Georgia Boy Bud Review, to where he just reviews different strains for those of us that are not where it's legal. So if you do want to plan out your Colorado vacation, let him do all the test work for you. He's happy to do it.
Nice. I think I became friends with him here recently on Facebook not too long ago.
Yeah, he's got a really ridiculous story, and I'll leave it to him to tell. He's still going. Like, it's amazing. Number one, he's asthmatic. Did you know you need a prescription in order to get an inhaler? He has to take a pill and wait because he doesn't have insurance and can't get a prescription for it.
No shit.
No shit. That's the tip of the iceberg for this guy. Like,
Thanks, Obama.
yeah. Definitely want to give a shout out to Old School Pizza and Ray for having me out as often as they do.
Mr. Ray Brito.
Yeah. GWC Intensity Wrestling, who actually had me do comedy at a charity event in between the wrestling matches.
No shit.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. And I learned there's a reason the Undertaker uses two hands when he comes into the ring. I tried to use one hand because I thought it'd look cooler. And once the rope comes off your butt cheek, it just slingshots straight into your groin. Oh. Yeah, and then I had to do like 5 or 7 minutes worth of comedy
with
my nuts up in my freaking stomach.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, but it was fun. The last one is Learn to Shoot Again and honoredveterans.org. My buddy Rick, double amputee from Afghanistan as a contractor, actually started this to help get veterans that are missing some of the things they love to do beforehand. Because I'm sorry, if you're in the military and you're not the chaplain, you're a gunslinger. Getting back to being able to do that is an amazing thing. And I stand behind that 110%.
That's awesome. Okay, yeah. Just check the show notes. We'll have links to all those things in there for you guys to take a look at.
All right. For my Twisted 10, I decided to do the 10 worst dates I've ever been on.
Yes. Yes. We actually just had in the Living Podcast we just talked about, one of the questions that we got from the Guyry happened to be, what is the worst thing a girl could do on a date for a guy? So perfect timing.
Oh, I've got y'all. And trust me,
nice.
My love life was ridiculous.
I know a few of your stories. I'm sure I don't know all of them, but I've heard a few of them in the past.
But to have 10, or to have more than 10 to make a top 10, that's something special.
That's a good point.
Once you start dating in your 30s, it's a whole nother battlefield, and somebody put it on legendary. You are not coming out of that unscathed.
You know what I said? I've never in my entire life had a chance to just date. Ever.
Yeah, we kind of went from, well, we dated sort of, but you moved in like the week later, so.
Yeah. But no, just never got to just date guys.
Do you want to break up and then just start dating?
Yeah, she could get an apartment in the garage.
Yeah, you can move out and then we can start dating.
In the garage. He can go in the garage.
Perks of being a grown-up, you don't have to fuck around.
It's true. That's a good point.
All right, let's hear about the worst dates. That way I know I don't need to go on dates.
All right, this first one is...
Number 10?
Number 10.
Number 10.
All right, this one I call Poison Ivy.
Ooh.
Because I'm not using their real names because I'm pretty easy target.
Poison Ivy's a redhead, right?
I'm allergic to poison ivy, so it can't be.
I will answer both of y'all's questions, I promise. All right. All these stories are made up, and any similarity is merely coincidental.
Nice.
That being said, all this shit is fucking true. So my love life was pretty much an M80 and dog shit. Like, you want to see what's going to happen, but you want to be a safe distance away. So my buddy just gets out of jail, and we decide to throw a party to celebrate freedom, something I'm a pretty big fan of. And so we're all partying our asses off. I get there a little early because it's right before I go into the Marines. And I go in the backyard, I clear some trees, I get some firewood together, and throw a bottle of rum in there just for good measure. And then I head up, start helping him get ready for the party. Party's jumping. There's like 40 people in there. Metal's playing. And I don't know if you've ever been to a metal party. Whole different type of atmosphere for drinking.
I don't think I've ever been.
Especially if you bring a magnet.
Jesus. I don't think I've ever been to a metal party. Most of my parties have either been like reggae, like Rasta, like ska punk stuff, or EDM style parties. I don't think I've ever been to a metal party.
I was just always into metal. Like, the musicianship required to do that is amazing.
Yeah.
Especially the drummers. Just
throw out to our shout out to our boy Devin Lupus, who came up here and did a living podcast. He's a drummer for a metal band. And an amazing vocalist and guitarist too. But the
downside of throwing a party when you just got out of jail, they assign you this thing. I don't know if y'all heard it. It's called a probation officer who comes and checks on you.
Uh-oh.
Like the first day you get out of jail. So I'm in the party. I'm double fisting 211 or something horrible because I'm young. And I make eyes with this rocker chick. Nose ring, tattoos, pitch black hair. I'm like, yes.
Insta-boner.
Yeah. And so the cops come. So, of course, we scatter like roaches in the light. And, you know, I'm in amazing shape. You know, I'm in my 20s. I just truck it to the nearest gas station. It's like half a mile away. Get like some water and a 6-pack and, you know, just wait for the whole thing to cool off.
Sure.
Well, she comes walking in to do the same thing.
The rocker chick?
The rocker chick.
All right.
Yeah. And so, like, we wait like 30 minutes, walk back. Of course, the party's dead. He's in deep shit because obviously you're not supposed to do that.
No parties on probation? Is that like a no-no?
I don't know, but it's not a good first impression.
Yeah, I guess that's a good point.
Probation just means you're not allowed to have fun.
Yeah.
You're in jail, but you get to be outside.
Gotcha.
And if you throw the party of the year, you have broken all those rules, which is why you're there in the first place. Well, me and her walk back. He's like, this sucks. And so I'm like, dude, here's a bottle of rum. I don't know what else to say. I'm sorry. And so he just takes that, goes and knocks out. Me and her are like, well, this, there's still, you know, this and that left. And so she had like a bottle of Everclear and like 2 PBRs. And so we go back to the tent. We start up a fire. One thing leads to another. You know, hour later, she leaves.
So you have a camping gear set up at this guy's house for like a just a extra spot to sleep in case you needed it type of deal? Or?
Yeah.
All right. So you took her outside to the camping.
I went to the tent.
I like where this is going.
All right. We did some of the things.
Nice.
She
Like
left.
made marshmallows, right?
Yeah. And so I got done. Fire's still going. Set up a fire, run out firewood, get some more firewood, take a leak in the woods, and go to bed. Well, I wake up the next day, go home. I've got a rash of some sort.
Oh, no.
Uh-oh. Yeah. So being a genius kid, I Google my symptoms, which you should never do.
Always leads to cancer.
Yeah.
Always.
So I'm like, oh, hell. And of course, I'm an legal adult, but I don't have my own insurance. So I'm like, all right. Crap. Mom, I need to go to the hospital on your insurance. And I can't tell you why. And you should never start a conversation like that because they're going to ask
Why?
exactly what you told them not to. Why?
Yeah.
If itchy dick cancer.
Yeah. Pretty much.
One of our listeners out there actually has that, I'm sure. And he's like, damn it, those motherfuckers.
I feel his pain. I was that worried.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So my mom also works in an ER, by the way.
Oh, no, she didn't want to look, did she?
Yeah. Y'all know exactly where that's going. So
just bring it here. Let me see.
It's your mom.
yeah, that was awkward. Worse, she started laughing. Not for the reason you think. Apparently, in gathering more firewood, I grabbed a handful of poison ivy, and that's what I had.
Oh, no.
Poison ivy.
When you went to take a piss, you would poison ivied your dick.
Yeah.
I was just about to ask, wait, how did it get on your dick? You weren't picking up firewood with your dick.
Guys, we have to hold stuff, some more than others, when we go to the bathroom.
No.
I
when you
wasn't
baby
picturing
woods.
the bathroom part.
Trey is 6'7". That means that was a big poison ivy bush he had. I'm just saying.
It's always the guys that mention it too. Like after the show, they have a couple more drinks. Girls are just like, "Oh my god, you want to go dancing?" I'm like, "Fuck no! What are you gonna do? Turn my kneecaps on?" But it's always dudes. Just how big is your dick? And I'm like,
Bigger than yours.
You want to buy me a drink? Maybe we'll talk about this. Like you got to ease into that.
See, maybe we could say we'll put a picture of Trey's dick on the Patreon page for our listeners to donate. Then they can see.
$50 a month.
Yeah, sure.
Trey gets half of it.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, it's black.
And apparently red with a bunch of bumps from poison ivy now. But,
It healed, but yeah,
that sucks.
yeah.
Beat cancer?
Wait, let me ask you an important question. So you guys knocked it out of the park before poison ivy set in?
Did
Right?
you?
We did
Okay,
because I'm like, yo, this happened. Yes, I had to show my mom.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, good job, whatever you did. And just never talked to me again.
Oh, she never called you back?
Huh? No, not after you're like, yeah, so we might have gotten poison ivy.
Did she end up getting it? Because that's super
She did
contagious.
not. She did not.
Okay.
So
All
I'm
right.
guessing
She didn't
it
even
was
have to tell her.
I said a victory pyre afterwards, you know?
Damn. Victory.
Oh, that
But
sucks.
yeah, that is my number 10. That is
Average.
where we start.
Uh-oh.
Because if you know anything about my luck, it gets worse.
The first circle of hell is itchy dick cancer.
Oh, we're doing Dante's Inferno with my love life? All right, I'm down.
It's Don Trey's Inferno.
Dante's Inferno, yes. All right, number 9 is Tank Girl.
Number 9.
Number 9.
I love that movie. It's a great movie.
Yeah. So I'm in Afghanistan. They pull us back early because we got to get the dogs. We got to make sure everything's good. We're going back to America.
Nice.
America.
Something important to add too, when you were in the military, I know this listeners don't, you did a lot with the training of dogs for the military use in sniffing bombs or attacks, or what did you do?
I was in the Marine Corps as a combat engineer, which is a minesweeper anyway. Side note, everybody says they have the most dangerous job in the military.
Yeah.
I win. So that's what we did. So
Nice.
we get the bomb dog. We get back. I meet this chick in the Army. We'll call her Tank Girl. If you don't have anything to do, they usually set some stuff up at the chaplain, usually an open mic. I play some music. I sing. I make jokes. You know, all the non-marketable skills.
Okay.
I take her up there. Apparently, I woo her with my magic guitar skills or something. And she's like, I wish we could. Me and my captain share a wall.
Share a wall.
Yeah, they have the...
Well, like compartmental housing units?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And so they share a wall, and there's paper thin.
Yeah.
So that's a good way for both of us to get in real big trouble. So we're walking by, and we notice a tank in the repair bay.
Oh, I think I know where this is going.
So that happens. And I would like to say, I don't know what the hell they were in The Walking Dead. Tanks are not that big on the inside.
So you guys went in the tank and hooked up inside the tank?
Yes,
That's
after I
awesome.
hadn't seen a girl in like 5 or 6 months.
That's a good story. And girl, so that's an interesting thing too. This says something about Trey. So for anybody who's been overseas, girls have pretty much the pick of the litter. So they call it an Iraqi 10 is a US 5. So over there, a good-looking American female is going to get so much more attention because they're so rare. Every swinging dick is chasing a good-looking girl, or even a okay-looking girl, because she's a girl and they've been away from home for so long, and a lot of them are young. I mean, that's just what happens. So the girls have the pick of the litter. They get to choose who they want. So that should paint a good picture for our handsome devil of a friend Trey sitting over here. I'm just saying.
I do what I can. I guess tall guys are just on the checklist, going by the numbers here. Well, anyway, we decided to talk. The second she got back to Fort Hood, just cheated on me in epic fashion.
Oh,
So that's number 9. Also, I scored in a tank. I mean,
that's
high
pretty.
five.
That's a pretty cool fucking story.
Number 8.
Number
And
8.
this one is called Pillory.
Pillory?
Pillory. You can get a little idea of what's going on beforehand. So anyway, I take this girl out for food. We have some food. We have some sodas. You know, it is a nice, normal event. We talk about music. She's into terrible music. I like good music.
Makes sense.
So this girl and I go out to eat. And we have food. We have sodas. She runs out of soda. And she's like, hey, let me get a little bit of your drink. I'm like, all right. She's like, I need to take my pill. And I'm like, woohoo. And she's like,
The birth control pill? Is that what she was?
I'm
That's what
getting
you
there.
thought you would.
I'm
Okay.
getting
All
there.
right, got it.
Estrogen pill.
Thank God it didn't get that bad. And she's like, I don't want you to get the wrong idea. This isn't a birth control pill. And I'm like, oh, well, that's good to know. She's like, it's my bipolar medicine. To which I'm like, oh, uh-oh.
Oh, red flag.
Why would you take that during a date?
I'm
Right,
glad they
right.
brought it up during the date. It definitely That's some first date stuff you need to know.
Yeah,
like, I
that's a
don't
good
want to,
point.
don't spring that on me. I don't want to meet your other side.
Still better than forgetting to take it.
That's true.
That's a good point. Her schizophrenia pill could have been that.
Like, oh,
She's
yeah,
later.
I'll take it later. And then forget. Get in the heat of the moment, fall asleep,
Take it in the
go
morning
18
before
hours
you're on
without
a
taking your
date.
happy pill, and then all of a sudden you wake up as a different person.
I like Trey's. So I like Trey's perspective, though. He would rather have seen her take the pill and get the explanation on the date. That way, he knows what he's getting himself into if he decides to pursue
It's
it
still
further.
a first date. I mean,
Gives him the opportunity to
You
consciously
don't
make a
even tell
bad
people
decision.
yet.
However, Trey, sometimes the crazy bitches are the best in bed. I'm just saying, there is some science behind that.
Well, it's always thrilling to drive a car, to jump out a plane, to, scuba dive into sunken ships. Also dating crazy girls, because all of them can kill you. It is that adrenaline
Yeah.
rush that drives.
that's true.
It's a good point.
All right, number 7 is everybody's favorite story and my girlfriend's least favorite.
All right.
Number 7 is the midget.
The midget.
Well, everybody's a midget to you, though.
No, a real one.
No shit.
Like under 5 foot. 4'11", you're legally a midget, so.
Trust me, she qualified. Now, again, I'm in the Marine Corps. It is all male battalions everywhere. Fat girls are picky in this town. So,
Jacksonville, North Carolina.
yeah, the
Was it really?
armpit of the world. Yeah.
No shit.
Camp Lejeune.
Lived there for 7 years.
Oh my God, it's terrible.
My grandfather retired there, and I lived in Jacksonville. When my grandfather died, my mother and father and I moved in with my grandmother to help take care of her house. In fact, that's the 92-year-old grandmother that we just saw today, or, well, yesterday.
Nice.
But, yeah, Camp Lejeune, baby. She had a beautiful, well, whatever. I digress.
Yeah. So we're all partying it up, and everybody, yeah, we used to party. Nobody parties like you're going to go to war tomorrow. So we are throwing down. I take a 5th of Jaeger to the chest.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
We're drinking. I've got some Coronas in the fridge. We're partying it up. I can't stand. I'm in a chair just like I'm there. You know the myrrh that Gabriel Iglesias talks
Yep.
about?
Yep.
That's where I'm at.
Nice.
And in walks this Asian midget. And I'm just describing them as best I can in the simplest terms I can. I don't want Brad Williams coming up here and kicking me in the shin or something.
Did you, for a moment, think that maybe you were seeing something?
Yes. And I
Okay.
checked with my buddy Tab. Dude, is that an Asian midget or am I just that drunk? And he's like, yes, you're that drunk. And yes, that's an Asian midget. I think we should try and talk her into a devil's 3-way. And I'm like, on the off chance all of this can stack up and work, why the hell not? She just walks up to the fridge, throws it open, and grabs one of my Coronas.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Like you can grab some beer from a party, whatever. You grab the cheapest beer there and you ask.
That's like somebody bring in some Amstel Light or some, Bush and then going for the,
She
top,
didn't even
top
bring
quality
that.
stuff.
She just brought herself, which, all right, I'm down. Keep feeding her drinks. We're going to have a story.
Yeah,
'Cause-
exactly.
That was really rapey.
Yeah, a little bit, right? But hey, if there's ever an opportunity in your life to get a midget and little person, whatever, drunk, do it. Just do it.
Just do it.
Do it.
So I'm sitting there in the chair. I'm like, well, what do you think you're doing? And she's like, it's okay. I know whose room it is. And I'm like, oh, well, there's me and there's my roommate. Please tell me whose room it is. And she's like, whoever's room it is gets a lap dance. And I'm like, all right.
Yes.
We're getting this story started. I'm down. So she hops up into the chair, literally has to hop to get on my lap
Almost adorable.
to give me a lap dance.
Almost.
The entire room stops because, again, the tallest guy most people have ever seen and the shortest person they have ever seen are having this weird moment.
Everyone has to watch that, of course.
Well, one of my buddies, Watermelon, jumps into freaking Rambo mode. He starts throwing everybody out of the room. He's like, you want to see it? I'm leaving the window open. Get the hell out. Grab beer. We're going to freaking watch this in the courtyard. And the last one is Tab. Because, yes, I had said that. I didn't think any of this was real or even within the realm of possibility. And he tried to explain that to Watermelon. Tab's like, no, we agreed on this. We're going to do the Eiffel Tower. It's going to be amazing. And Watermelon's not believing any of it. He literally puts him in an armbar, drags him out the freaking door, opens the window, and closes the door. Now, this is where my memory gets hazy, and I'm having to argue with 8 different versions of what happened. Per them, she wanted to do a shot and couldn't reach the freezer. Which I would have loved to have just seen the body language communication, because again, I'm 3 sheets to the wind and she's little.
Yeah.
So she hops off of me. I stagger and almost fall on her because when I'm drunk, I'm wacky wavy inflatable tube man. At that point, apparently, give her the bottle. She has a shot or two. Put the bottle back in. And the next thing I know, I wake up with my head in the freezer, asleep on the bottle, and my fly's down.
Oh.
And I have way too many questions. Now, some of them say, I got a blowjob. Others of them say, she started to and realized I was asleep in the freezer, which is probably the more likely of the stories. I do know she woke up building away with another Marine buddy of mine. So it was...
That's a night.
It was quite a night.
She didn't have to get down on her knees or anything.
No, we were both standing, and that's the only thing everybody... They'd walk around with like their hand at their waist. They'd be like, must be this tall. Must be this tall. And they had so many plays off of that. Because there's messing up, and there's messing up and letting your friends know. And I did both.
You missed out on a real golden opportunity, though, Trey.
That's a lot of people's bucket list.
That's a wild card on bingo.
Yeah. He might not have missed out. He just doesn't remember it.
Oh, he missed out.
Yeah,
he
I
was
think you're
sleeping
probably
in
right.
the freezer.
Yeah.
Pants still on. He missed out.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, I don't know. Again,
You literally could have just, as long if you could have found a second point of contact on the wall, you could have done the full standing blowjob.
I mean, I was clinging to the fridge because I'm tall enough to just put my arm around the fridge.
You know, that's Tall Trey's new logo. Is him standing like
Sleeping in the fridge.
him standing like the guy from the Da Vinci paintings, where it's like the
The Vitruvian
Oh
man.
yeah, the Vitruvian man.
and in front of that is a silhouette of a midget at his dick. That's his logo. I'm just saying.
And the end of my sex life.
It's called Little People.
Little people, yes, yeah, little people.
I like the
A
giant
little
sleeping
person.
with his head in the freezer.
I think that's good too.
Number 6.
Number 6.
6.
Strippers in a 5-pound bag of flour.
That
Oh.
goes together.
All right. I've heard the joke about, if a fat girl, you roll her around in flour, look for the wet spot.
What?
Oh,
Whoa.
you never heard that before?
That's nasty.
Wouldn't that be a lot of flour?
That's like your mama's so fat to find the wet spot, you roll her in flour and look for it. Never heard that before?
No.
Neither have I. I was just saying, geez.
I've heard your mom was so fat. When I rolled off her, I was still on her.
Oh, we need to do a best your mama top 10.
Ooh, that would be
that
good.
would be so good.
I'm just saying, we got to get really drunk first.
You'd have to vote on those.
Good
'Cause
call.
there's like
a
literally
billion.
hundreds.
Yeah.
Poor
Yep.
mamas.
All right. I want to hear this.
The
Strippers.
Mother's Day episode.
That sounds like a marketing fucking genius idea right
Yes.
there. Mother's Day, the best your mama jokes of the year. I like it. All right. I want to hear about strippers and
Strippers in a
flour.
5-pound bag of flour.
Yeah.
So my buddy gets a job as a catering chef. He's downtown Atlanta. He's making good money, and he decides to throw a party. It's winter. I'm there. One of our friends decided to be a stripper.
All right.
Whatever. She was making like at 1.5 times as much as we were. So props to him. Somebody lies to me because I'm pretty gullible and believe people when they tell me things because I was taught not to lie. Thanks, Mom. They're like, yeah, man, just throw on your suit. It's a heated pool. So me and another buddy go down there. And of course, I'm not a little put your pinky toe in kind of person. I do a backflip because I don't know if you've ever seen somebody over 6 feet tall do a backflip. It is amazingly awkward. There's just so much that still has to flop. And so I do that into what I can only assume is the scene of Titanic because it is freezing. and I like almost walk on water. It's so cold. I like come out like a dolphin, and then I have to go up 6 flights of stairs with all of my friends on the 6th floor laughing maniacally. Now I get up there, my lips are blue. I'm cussing in gibberish, and so I'm like, fuck this. I run into the shower, lock it, start getting a hot shower to try and get some body heat back into me. Stripper friend and another one of her girlfriends that she brought come into the bathroom because I'm taller in the shower bar. I see people coming in, which apparently they didn't expect. And so one of them goes all the way to the left to one opening in the shower curtain. The other one stays right there towards the door, towards the other shower curtain. The other one, eye contact. You ready? And I'm like, well,
Shit's
I'm
about to get
single.
real.
I do need the body heat desperately. So yeah, let's do this. And she pulls the curtain back. And the other girl I hadn't noticed had her hands behind her back. Because this friend of mine is a real friend of mine. She's an asshole. And she had a 5-pound bag of flour that she just starts pelting me with handful after handful after handful. And what happens, class, when water and flour mix?
Glue.
You get dough. I look like Clayface off Batman the Animated Series. And she takes off running. I'm covered in freaking dough. I come running out too. Again, into a party of like 40 people, 6.5 foot tall, naked, covered in flour. Nobody else has any clue any of this is going on either. They weren't all in union for this prank on me. And so I grab a bag of flour and dump it all over her head. And I'm like, yeah, how do you like it? With no context whatsoever. And then just walk back into the shower.
Yeah, that's damn, that's shitty.
That's a worst date? That sounds amazing.
That's
No, that clogged my buddy's fucking plumbing for a week.
oh, no doubt. I didn't even think about
So
that.
that's his worst date, or his.
No,
worst
we had to
time
hear
for
him
your
bitch
date.
about it. So I definitely made the list.
Gotta love some strippers that are willing to do some pranks. You know what, though, was when it caked onto you, I bet it created a nice little insulator level so you stayed warm.
It did, and running around afterwards definitely helped get my
Body
blood
heat.
pumping
See-
too. Maybe she was just concerned for my safety.
Those
I think
strippers
so.
cared.
They saved my life.
They really cared.
They were
Strippers
trying
are
to cook
people
some
too.
bread.
All right, so cool. That's 10 through 6. We're gonna take a that was 10 through 6,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, we're gonna take a break in studio, and we'll be right back.
Hey, Tach, do you ever have that conversation with your girl about where to eat dinner and it always turns into that back and forth? I don't know, you pick.
Yeah, every once in a while, yeah.
Yeah, well, I've got an answer for you next time that comes up.
Oh, yeah? Where
The
at?
Salty Fox in Melbourne off of Old Galley Boulevard.
Oh, nice. You know, I've actually been there, and the food was pretty awesome.
Hell yeah, it was. They offer a great selection of paninis, shareable appetizers, soups, and salads, and one of the best desserts I've ever had, the Funky Monkey.
Oh, yeah, my favorite was the vintage options. They got this meal called ramen noodle on crack. You just got to try it out.
Done. That's definitely what I'm getting next time.
Put the fun between your legs at the Salty Fox every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. with the Old Galley Arts District Bike Crawl.
It's a 4-mile bicycle ride down Pineapple Avenue with stops for food and beer all along the route. Be sure to visit the Salty Fox every Sunday for brunch from 11 to 4.
Hey, isn't that the $10 bottomless mimosas brunch?
Sure is. Enjoy your brunch while the Salty Fox's DJ spins throwbacks and top 40 hits.
Salty Fox is located in the downtown Old Galley Art District on Old Galley Boulevard.
Check them out on Facebook at facebook.com/saltyfoxmelbourne or online at thesaltyfox.net.
Hey listeners, be sure to mention you heard about the Salty Fox on our show, and you'll get 10% off your meals.
Hey, it's Adam. If you enjoy the hosts or the content of The Twisted 10, be sure to check out our other show. It's called Living Podcariously. While The Twisted 10 may get crass and explicit occasionally, it holds no water to Living Podcariously. We do get a little bit more rough and raw on that show. We have a lot of fun producing it and have had some awesome guests. And as always, thanks for listening.
Okay, we have 45 seconds before the anesthesia wears off, so we have to make this quick.
That's not very good anesthesia.
Focus now. Remember why we're here.
Honestly, no. Sandwiches?
Soon. Look, we're here to tell the Twisted 10 listeners about our show, the Conversation Hat Podcast, in which a hat tells us to talk about geek culture, the arts, and the abstract, features guests from the creative industries along with original sketches and music.
Oh yeah. I guess we'd mentioned that the Conversation Hat is available on iTunes, SoundCloud, and on StabbedPanda.com, right?
I really wish we'd scripted this before breaking in.
Liam, they're starting to wake up.
Ugh, darn, there's no time. Come on, through the window.
We forgot the sandwiches.
Village Idiot Pub. You locals know about it. You guys from out of town have to check them out.
Village Idiot Pub is now a proud sponsor with Living Podcariously and the Twisted 10 podcasts.
It's more than just about commercials, though. The cast here will be taking our show on the road to Village Idiot to record some episodes as well as hold events. They have over 30 beers on tap, including ciders and Hefeweizen, my favorite, as well as hundreds of bottle choices.
Adam, you forgot my favorite, all the delicious wine. So get your friends together and enjoy the board games, puzzles, and the giant Jenga.
Let the owner, Jason, as well as the rest of the staff there, take excellent care of your beer drinking needs.
Mention either one of our shows to the staff and get 10% off your tab.
Tuesday is open mic, Wednesday is trivia, Thursday is karaoke, Friday and Saturday night are live music.
Visit them at 4 Harrison Street, Suite 103, Cocoa, Florida, or Village Idiot Pub on Facebook. And don't forget, they are a dog-friendly location, so bring your friends, family, and fur babies.
Do you like sci-fi, AI, and technology? Do you enjoy going on tangents and down random rabbit holes of a subject? Then join me and my friends each week on Brokebot Mountain as some artificially intelligent people attempt to walk through a maze that explores themes of existence and free thought in sci-fi TV, movies, and books. The conversations are unique and bring an unusual perspective to the genre and can literally go anywhere. And we do mean anywhere. You can find us at blazingcariboustudios.com or look for Brokebot Mountain on iTunes, Stitcher, and Google Play, or anywhere you listen to your favorite podcasts.
All right, welcome back to the Twisted 10. This is our very, very special friend, Trey Comedy, here doing his top 10 girlfriend story. Wait, what do we want to call it?
Top 10 worst dates ever.
Worst dates
I just
ever.
gotta say, you keep calling him your special friend, but there's no way he could fit on the short bus.
He didn't go to he didn't ride the short bus. He went to the short school.
I pretty much had to duck completely to get onto the bus. Like, there are a bunch of tall people problems that nobody realizes, like why the stall wall ends in the bathroom. Because if I make eye contact, it's going to be awkward for both of us.
You need to go to, well, I guess I should ask that more than say it. Have you been to a Asian country like Japan? You ever been there before?
I went over to another country, but it was Afghanistan, and the locals were not that impressed with us.
Yeah. If you go to Central or South America, specifically somewhere like Colombia, I'm 6 foot. I'm a giant there. And all the people are just looking up to you. So me at 6 foot, I could look over the crowd of people like I'm sure you can in the U.S. But apparently in Japan, if you're 6 foot or taller, you're like a fucking god. And as you're walking down the streets, people will stop to take pictures with you because you're tall. So at 6'7",
people already do that in America.
Yeah, I guess
like
your
my height is on the back of my business card just to save time and to prevent people from taking me verbally hostage.
We should plan a teamwork trip to go visit the Wilsons out there. I'm just saying.
I'm trying to get out there. They keep wanting this money stuff. I
gotta stop saying I'm just saying. I got called out for that in our last episode. I always say I'm just saying. And
All right, J-Rock.
Well, I don't know why. I don't know how it stuck. I usually try not to do those little quibs, but I got called out on it. In fact, Jay, our other host, said every time you hear Adam say "just saying" in this last episode, you have to do a shot. He goes, "You won't make it to the end of the episode." I didn't realize I said it. Now I do.
I
Now
never
I'm
realized you said
That's
it.
that glass breaking from How I Met Your Mother.
I go through phases of habitual language. Like currently, a lot of the things I say start with "I mean."
Yes.
Yeah. And it'll go. It'll be replaced with something else. But there's always some sort of a habitual language that currently fits with where I'm at in my life.
Podcasters listen for the ums and the ahs usually, and it depends on the show. If you like editing those things out, then some people edit it. Some people just air the raw audio just as it is. I do some work in my post-production, but I usually don't edit out the ums and ahs. But I got into a habit about 6 months ago. Every sentence I started began with "so."
Yeah, me too. That's my biggest issue.
It fucking killed me. And I didn't know it, and nobody said anything to me until I was listening to the recording. I'm like, why the fuck do I keep saying "so" in front of everything I say? Mm-hmm. So Trey, what do you think about this? So here's our list. Everything I would say was "so."
It's you're buffering.
Yeah,
when you do that, you're buffering. Like I feel like the habitual language thing is what doing speeches when I was younger and things like that. You got to stay away from the ums, the uhs, the pauses, the dumb shit. That's my habitual language. It's whatever I've replaced that tick with, that pause.
Yeah.
And over time, I'll notice that I'm doing it, and then I'll replace it with something else.
Huh. Interesting. The psychology behind speech. All right, Trey. So Trey, can you give us your run through of your 10 through 6, the titles only, just to give us a refresher?
All right. Again, I'm Tall Trey of Tall Trey Comedy on the Twisted 10.
Get it.
Now we're gonna recap I don't know what to call it, the best of the worst or the worst of the best. I don't know where to go with that, but we counted down from 10 to number 6. Coming in at number 10 was pretty much my fault, I guess, but I got poison ivy from a date and didn't know it was poison ivy.
You should change the title of that one to Itchy Dick Cancer.
Itchy Dick Cancer. That's the name of the episode. Itchy Dick Cancer with Tall Trey Comedy.
Yes. Good thing I have a girlfriend, because after that, you don't get another one. Oh, Itchy Dick Cancer guy? No.
Yeah.
He ain't getting none of this. All right, number 9, Tank Girl.
Great movie and great story.
Number 8 was Bipolar Meds.
Yep.
Number 7 was The Midget Story. Number 6 was Strippers and the 5-pound bag of flour incident.
Nice. All right, cool deal. So that brings us to
the last 5.
Number 5.
Number 5.
All right, number 5 is an interesting story because I did something I don't usually do. I did something nice, and I paid for it dearly.
Uh-oh.
This one is called Penelope.
Oh, okay. I love that name.
Yeah. So I had just gotten a new car. Just gotten a Nissan Cube. It had that new car smell, toast, because it looks like the brave little toaster.
Now, is a Cube fit you? Is it?
It's as close as anything gets to fitting me that isn't a full-size truck. I just need something with better gas mileage.
I hear you.
So
there it is.
A friend calls me. It's like 2, 3 in the morning, and they're like, "Yo, I need a ride." I'm like, excuse to take the new car out? All right.
Oh, yeah.
So I, throw some pants on, cruise up to the bar, and if you've ever picked people up from the bar, it's like herding cats or dealing with daycare, because everybody is as drunk as they can possibly get. And on a scale of 1 to 10, the person I'm picking up lost a custody battle drunk.
Oh.
Yeah. Trashed. And I'm like, just please don't throw up in my car. So get them into the bar. They have to hug and kiss everybody. Go to the bathroom 2 times.
This was a girl, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Close out the tab. All this stuff. I'm like, all right. I was enjoying sleep. You're on my time now. Get in the fucking car.
No shit.
And so she eventually gets in. She's like, I need McDonald's. And I'm like, all right, McDonald's is a small price to pay for nobody to pee in my car. Like, I have dealership plates on this thing still. By the time we get to the drive-through speaker, she's passed out. Like, slap her, she's not waking up. Not hard, you know, the little love taps that you should wake up for. She's not waking up for any of that. I'm 6.5 feet tall and have a passed out girl in my passenger seat. I'm not trying to get tased or end up on Cops because they redid Cops. Cops is live now.
Yeah, I heard about that. I heard it's really good too. I haven't watched it yet.
I watched it. I watched somebody get caught with an entire gym bag full of weed.
Wow.
I'm like, that's the most weed I've ever seen until Colorado ads came up. But yeah. Dude was just calm as can be. He's like, yep, you got me. Let's go to jail. And I'm like, that's well behaved. Like,
yeah, no kidding.
But anyway, so I'm like, what the hell? My phone's, of course, back at the house. Hers is locked. So I'm like, crap, I can't use GPS. All right. Well, I was born in the 80s. I got this. So I pull out her driver's license, which is supposed to have your right address on it. I've lived in this town almost 30 years, minus the time I was in the Marine Corps. I have no idea where this road is. So I drive to a gas station and buy one of those maps that turn into like 8 feet of just paper and roads and
the hell you say is this thing called a map?
Yeah.
It's not an app on my phone?
No.
It's a dying profession. A map maker. Cartographer? Is that what they're called?
They don't have those anymore. I mean, they do, but they're like oceanized. They're mapping things that we haven't seen before.
Right.
Yeah. So I get that. The road's not on there either. I'm like, what the hell? So I'm like, all right, well, you're just going to crash on the couch and be confused in the morning. I'll leave a note on her forehead or something. So cruise to my house, get there, and I'm like, all right, get out. You're going to crash on the couch. No funny business. I'm locking my door. Like, just go to sleep. And she's like, no, I'm sleeping out here. And I'm like,
in your car?
In the car. And I'm like, no, you're not. This is a new car. I like that buttery toast smell. Like, I don't need bar, BO, funk, and puke or anything. I'm like, get out of the car. And Adam, you're a father.
Sure.
You remember the no stretch?
The no stretch?
Yeah, to where you're trying to get them out of somewhere, so they stretch their arms and legs and just scream no. This former parent did that.
Oh, it's so she wanted to stay in the queue.
In the car. She just didn't want to move. And I'm like, what the hell? So go inside, like, look up her freaking roommate. And I'm like, yo, where is this place? Where do you live with this? Give me the address. I grab my phone. I throw it in the GPS. I drive them over there. Now, the roommate and the girl's boyfriend are in the driveway. Both of them stone sober and could have done this at any point instead of me.
They could have gone to get this girl from the bar.
Yeah. And I'm like, what? Why? And why won't you get out of the car? And so she gets out and I see a piece of paper in the seat and I'm confused. I'm like, what is that paper and why is it wet? You didn't even have a drink. Like, why is my seat wet? I had that 7 moment, you know, just what's in the box?
Yeah.
What's in the box? Just why is my car wet? Why is my new, I only have dealer plates on my car wet? And what is that paper? And apparently everybody else clicked and got exactly what happened and got the hell inside. It took me a bit, but I figured out why she didn't want to get out of the car. I figured out why my seat and that piece of paper are wet.
Oh, no.
Somebody peed in my new car.
Oh.
And as everybody knows with my luck, it gets worse. That piece of paper was my W-2 that I had gotten that day.
Oh, did she just sit on it accidentally or she
It
used
was
it like
just in the
toilet paper?
seat. I wasn't concerned with it because I was getting her in. And she peed on it. I'm like, I'm not using a pissy W-2. So I had to tell this whole story to my boss.
Oh.
So the moral is do not give people rides. Ever. Tell them to take an Uber.
Oh, man. Oh, that's like, did she at least clean that?
She cleaned it. We're still on good terms. And I'm sorry. Things happen.
Yeah,
you know,
got it.
My birthday last year, because I deal with music, I deal with entertainment. I went to a bar for my birthday. I'm on real good terms with most bartenders because we're kind of, on the same side.
Family.
Yeah, pretty much. So they got me $85 drunk.
Jesus.
That doesn't include other people. Oh, it's your birthday? Here's a shot. So somebody got me a ride home. I thought they took me to my home. Apparently not. Because I'm just trashed, like blacked out, 3 sheets to the wind, just done. So I thought I went in my house and went to my bathroom and stripped down and got in my bed. It turns out one of the bartenders took me to their house because there was an after party. And in fact, I had peed in their hallway, stripped down to my boxers and slept in their bed.
Oh, no.
And much like Andre the Giant, just nobody moved me.
Jesus. I've had friends that are similar the way where I'm the sober one driving this person home. In fact, it was from a teamwork party. And on the way home, this person decided that they wanted to get sick on the side of the road. It's only a 5-mile trip, and I stopped 5 times for this person to decide if they're going to get sick or not. Very, very frustrating. Yeah, I know.
It's always better safe than sorry, though.
Yeah, but I'm not looking to try to get pulled over. You know what I mean? I would almost rather absorb that into the vehicle and just get home safe than draw extra attention on the side of the road at 3 a.m. in the morning, in Tampa. It's just...
Yeah, and I figured out why the traffic is so bad in Florida. Me and the girlfriend went up to Boston to see a friend's graduation and a few other things, got out some venues. And the driving gets exponentially worse the higher up in the country you go until you get to Canada. Canada is amazing, wonderful drivers because there aren't a ton of people. And it's real hard to drive like a jackass when nobody else is there.
I guess that's a good point.
And they're all really sorry.
So sorry. You know how you spell Canada, right?
CANADA.
CND. Yeah. CANA. That's a horrible one-line joke.
I'm sure my buddy Jeff's going to give me a ton of shit for that. He's up in the Canadian Army. He knows what it's about.
Canada, I think, and don't quote me on this, but I think Canada is the first nation to legalize marijuana to the point where it's legalized almost for a fucking brick. It's just a gigantic amount.
I think they're currently working on that.
Is that what's in the bill that they're trying to pass?
I think that's a current legislation.
Well, they're doing that, and they're fighting about immigration, just like America.
Yeah, they're not building the wall, though. How many Americans are actually traveling up there now that Trump's in? Let's not get political. All right.
Nobody. They found out that, like us, there's an immigration policy, and it's the law.
Yep.
Well, what I like is what Daniel Tosh said. It's real nice to be, or it's real easy to be the hippie, happy, cool country when you have a Kevlar snuggie called America.
That's true. That's a good point.
All right, let's go for number 4.
Number four.
Some of our guests don't get that. So like some of our guest hosts that connect on Skype, so we'll all be crowded around the screen over there, and they'll be on that side, so they'll be able to see us and we can see them. And even though I prep them ahead of time, some do, some get it, and some don't get it. The only really interaction that we've got during the list is making fun of the numbers. That's stupid, but
4.
it's our little thing. All
right. Number 4, sadly, is another story about pee.
So why does it always go back to pee?
It happens in threes, just like celebrity deaths. There was the apartment thing I did. There was Penelope. And then there's this story. So, again, I was single and trying to date most of my adult life. I'm 32 and just finally got a real girlfriend. So, dating in your 30s is a complete nightmare. So, I decide to try speed dating because they offered that. Because what better outlet for me to alienate all the single women in one area in the shortest amount of time? And so we go through and I'm talking to this person and that person, and me and somebody click. And she doesn't even wait till, because you're supposed to give them your information. If the two of y'all like each other, they share each other's information. You contact each other later.
Nice.
She didn't even wait. She's like, I like you. I want to buy you a drink. And I'm sorry. More girls need to get empowered like that and start buying men drinks. That was amazing.
Fucking here. I agree. Of course, Andrea buys me drinks, but
It's like I buy
we're
you
together.
drinks all the time.
Yeah.
Maybe that's
I love
why I
that.
keep you around. Get you drunk.
Damn right.
Yep. So that happens. We hit it off. We go back to her place, which is staggering distance. And things happen.
Nice.
And I'm like,
wow.
yes, until I see what happened, because she has a cat.
All right. So a lot of girls have cats.
Apparently the cat is possessive because it pissed all over my clothes.
Oh, no.
I don't know if you've smelled cat piss
cat
before,
urine is the
but
Oh,
worst.
yeah, you can smell that a mile away.
Oh.
so again, I'm left with a choice. And they're never good choices. They're like parking spots at Walmart. So my option is just walk back with like my clothes in a Walmart bag and me and my underwear in Macon, which is a pretty decently sized city at 6.5 feet tall.
How far is the walk? You said it was like staggeringly close, but how far?
A mile or less.
A mile?
Like,
All right. Busy highway?
yes, like the downtown Mecca. I have to pass the police station. Or I have to put on cat pissy clothes.
I can just see the police chief sitting in there, at the front desk. Hey, Bob, there's an albino Sasquatch walking by outside. Get the camera.
Them Sam scratches. Yeah, so those are my options. I don't feel like explaining this to anyone else. I just want to take my clothes and hope my dignity eventually finds its way home. So I have to put on cat pissy clothes, and I imagine it like that one episode of The Walking Dead where they have to cover themselves with zombie guts to escape. Also, vinegar apple cider, if any of you do get pet urine anywhere, it gets the smell right out. Dry cleaning does not.
No kidding.
Yeah.
But vinegar apple cider
Vinegar will get
almost
rid.
smells like cat urine anyway, doesn't it?
But
that disappears. That doesn't linger.
yeah.
Okay.
After it dries, you won't smell vinegar.
Yeah, I
Okay.
just poured a bottle of it in, threw it in a normal washer cycle.
Nice. See, I learned something tonight.
Yep. Trying to help out the next generation.
You know what you should have done is you could have called that girl that pissed on your seat to come pick you up. She owed you a favor at that point. I'm just saying. She should have taken one for the team at that point. Just come on and gotcha.
That would have really made the Triforce complete.
Right? By our powers combined.
Captain Piss Planet. What would you have done?
So you're in a different situation. So most girls have like a pair of sweatpants or something, and I would have asked, let me borrow your sweatpants until I can get home and wash this and I'll return it back to you. You being as tall as you are probably would have looked like
If
you're
I
wearing shorts with somebody's sweatpants. So it's a little unique.
If I start wearing normal sized people's clothes, I'm going to end up looking like, what's his name in the roller skates from Reno 911, Nick Schwartz.
Yep.
Well,
Like-
I heard men capris are in style now.
No,
so-
they're not. People are lying. Capris are terrible. Christopher Titus went over that.
So I said
Makes
the
your
guys
legs
don't even
look
like
short, makes your feet look big. Like, it is atrocious.
We're not even going to go down the path of the
rompers.
romper. Nah, no.
What
negative.
kind
You
of
have
underwear?
to take it off to pee.
You can unbutton it.
What kind of underwear did you have to walk home in?
Whitey tighties, come on, say it.
Nah,
Boxers?
I had
Boxer briefs.
I've got some stretchy like
Silky.
Under Armour, but different.
Gotcha.
So like the ones that come like midway down your thigh kind of thing?
Yeah,
Like
and they're
tight boxer briefs.
That's what I'm walking home in.
Yeah.
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 Right, I would take my shoes off too, put it all in a bag,
It's not indecent exposure. You'd be okay with that.
do
Yeah.
the hobo stick thing, and just
What's-
walk home.
what-
Nobody's gonna bother you. They
those are
think you're-
called bindle sticks.
They're not
Thank
going to
you.
come near you because you're going to reek of cat pee anyway.
You're not. Your
Your bag will.
bindle stick reeks of cat pee.
That is true.
They don't stay up though. Those like slide down to your back.
What time of year was it? Was it like?
Yeah, was it cold?
Was it like cold time, winter time?
Yes, it was cold.
Oh, definitely.
I had a 3-piece suit on.
Definitely go in your underwear. No one's gonna bother you.
Oh,
You're
the
just
cat
gonna
pissed?
look like another crazy homeless meth head.
The cat pissed on the 3-piece suit, not like jeans and a
That's
t-shirt.
why I know how to get it out. I'm not buying another 3-piece suit. I'll buy some vinegar. All right. Now, these last 3, I have to warn you, they are brutal.
Yes.
So in case you weren't paying attention before, I'm sure you are now. Now, this next story is called Cat Scratch Fever.
Ooh, okay.
Now, some of y'all know some parts of this. All right? Now, I met this girl at a wedding, and I had a couple warnings that maybe you should steer clear, that I completely ignored.
Like, we all told him.
Everyone.
Oh, no.
We meet there. We hit it off. A month later, she says, hey, you should come down. Got the place to myself. We'll go have some sushi. You know, enjoy a weekend.
Is this the girl I saw you sitting outside talking to at that one wedding?
I can neither confirm nor deny this, as none of these stories are, in fact, actually true.
I know who the story is absolutely not about.
Yes.
Nodding my head up and down, yes.
So I come down. You know, she's got a freaking box wine thing that she's hitting like a Gatorade cooler.
All right.
We have sushi. We have laughs. We hang out. We watch TV. Pretty easy, chill. One thing leads to another, as is usual. And we have a great time, you know? Then she's like, I'm going to go to the bathroom. I'm like, all right, freshen up. Round 2. And I'm like laying in the bed doing that whole Burt Reynolds thing from the Smokey and the Bandit.
Yes.
And if you don't know what I'm talking about, watch Smokey and the Bandit. It's amazing. So there it is again.
Coors Light. That's what that is, by the way.
Yeah.
That was what they were doing. They were running Coors Light and Smokey and the Bandit.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know that until years later, until it really registered. That was what Boss Hogg... No, was it Boss Hogg? Yeah, that's what Boss Hogg originally wanted, was Coors Light to be brought across state lines, which was illegal. So they were running illegal booze. Well, illegal beer at the time. It's a cool story.
Anyway, so, you know, what is a good word to use in place of that?
I mean...
I mean works. So there would... I see, I said so too.
Yeah.
Wubba-lubba-dub-dub.
Yeah, you'll never get out of it now.
Just
And
jump right
that's
in.
the news. I come down. We have a great time. She goes to the bathroom. I'm chilling there like Burt Reynolds. A lot of time passes, and like I don't want to go in, hit that invisible wall or anything. So I give it time. I, walk out to like peek my head. The bathroom door's open. I'm like, oh crap. Hope they didn't want, shower seconds. And so I creep the door, trying to be smooth. And it was about as smooth as sandpaper.
Uh-oh.
Because I go in there and she's literally cutting her wrist.
Oh, holy shit.
Yeah, there's blood. I'm like, it couldn't have been that bad. And so I'm like, what the fuck? I take the sharp thing away because obviously she didn't pass scissor safety course. And I patch her up because I've got a little knowledge on, what to do. And, if that's your kink, if that's your thing, fine. Warn somebody.
Yeah, no shit. Like deep cuts? What are we talking here?
I mean, it wasn't anything.
Some cutters like to cut just to the surface where they would see the blood begin to come
and
out.
If that's your thing, that's fine. You had communication in any kind of relationship is vital.
Holy shit.
So I'm like, what the hell? So she goes to sleep. I'm laying there. Obviously a little perturbed.
Yeah.
The next day, I have, moral issues. I'm like, I have to go. Are you good? Are you okay? Because she wouldn't talk about it. This is my thing. You wouldn't understand. And I'm like, that's fine. I don't want this story to get any worse than it already has.
Yeah.
I don't want to be the person you were last seen with.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I have to go to my friend's parents' house, who are actually in the same neighborhood, and explain a bad one-night stand to them. And if you've ever had to talk with your parents, imagine how much more awkward it is having that same talk with somebody else's parents.
This is not that same talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a bit far, man.
This is an
Jesus.
advanced level talk.
Yeah, that's... So is there any silver lining here? Did she get help out of this?
Yeah,
or?
I mean, she's with somebody now. She's much happier. She's doing her thing. I am doing my thing. We're not friends anymore because I told.
Well,
but I was worried.
That's a
So, I mean,
you
moral
should.
dilemma, you know?
You're just, from my opinion, you're never in the wrong for turning that into a situation where you're trying to help her to get help by, telling mutual friends or whatever. That's fucking scary.
And we're
Jesus.
still not done yet. Number 2.
Number 2. Oh yeah.
All right. This is in no way another person. So this one has felony charges pending.
Ooh.
I told you, I know how to pick them.
Damn.
And you should never send me to the grocery store. Me and this person work together, had no idea. I go on OkCupid because I've done so well in normal dating that the dangerous world of internet dating is no concern of mine. It's what mine's for a living. How bad could this be? Holy hell, it was bad.
Trey's OkCupid profile simply says, "I'm a stand-up comic. I'm just dating you to get more stories to tell on stage." That's what his OkCupid profile says.
No, I've recently deleted all of that, but we'll get to that later. She ends up at my work. She's a nerd. She plays video games. I'm a nerd. I have more than one Marvel tattoo. And so I'm like, yo, let's go out, see what it is and what it isn't. Now, I should have known something was wrong. This girl is 30, single, and doesn't have kids. And in the South, something is terribly wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a rare breed right there.
Yeah. I take her to Dave & Buster's.
Nice.
Full arcade with a full bar. Also, they opened one in Macon. It's called Reboot. It's amazing.
What did we go to when we were up there in Georgia? We went to one. We took the kids to it. Do you remember? Where they were shooting the game.
I remember the place. I don't remember the name.
Oh, sorry.
Well, if you want to come to Macon, it's awesome. It's right across from the Rookery, which has the greatest hamburgers ever.
Oh, no, it was Savannah or South Carolina. Sorry. Greenville. Yeah.
Okay. Well, this one just popped up. It's awesome. A couple of my friends are the bartenders there, and everything's still a token. You trade a quarter for a token, and you can play anything. They have Crazy Taxi. They have Area 51.
Really?
They have Mario with a joystick and the Tekken buttons.
The old school stand-up games.
They have Street Fighter, Capcom versus Marvel. It's awesome.
It's a great place to take a date for a first date. That's good.
And it gives you an excuse to have change again. So we go up there. We have a blast. We actually do a lot of the handgun games, like Area 51, Time Crisis, that green glow-in-the-dark SOCOM game or whatnot. And so I'm a pretty good shot, I'm like, hey, for our next date, how about I take you to the gun range, teach you how to shoot a real gun? Because she's never done that. And she's like, not feeling you. I'm like, fair enough. I'm an acquired taste. Well, thank God, because the guy she dated after me, we were having a safety brief at work. And they're like, what are we doing this active shooter drill? Because it's a gun-free zone. And obviously the solution is hide under your desk. And I'm like, why is this? And they're like, you don't know? You remember that girl you were talking to? And I'm like, which one? Who can tell? And they're like, this one? And they pull up a mugshot.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. And I'm like, huh? I had my tongue crazy. Yeah. Turns out, dude cheated on her. Same day she got her meds switched. And she wasn't upfront in telling me about that. So she decides to get his attention in traffic by ramming his car a couple times.
Oh, no.
That makes sense. That would get his attention.
You notice the girl. Oh, that makes sense. I'm taking her side strictly because she's a woman.
A woman scorn, man. That's.
She got his attention, right?
A mentally unstable woman scorn.
He drove to his work, got out, ran inside. She did not want to take that middle step, so she just drives the car inside.
Yeah. Quicker.
No shit. Gets out of said car. Pulls a gun. Again, I almost taught her to shoot good.
Oh my God.
Fires 2 shots.
Add anything or?
I have no idea. It just says fired 2 shots.
Okay.
Breaks down crying and the cops come.
Wow. And you thought I was crazy.
It gets worse because it's me and I poke the bear. So after that, they're like, oh my gosh, here's the jail she's at. We should all write her. And you know that thing where everybody's like, all right, we're going to jump. 1, 2, 3, and then I'm the only one that jumps.
Trey's the only one that wrote her.
So I wrote her, and I'm a comedian. I'm a smartass. Like, my heroes growing up were Daria, Garfield, you know, anybody that's just sarcastic and just, oh, well, fuck, here we go with this. That's just the realest thing, to be so honest with something that you're actually making fun of it.
How long is she in jail for?
She, last time I checked, because I wrote her, and it was, hello from the other side.
Hello from the other.
Don't get the Folsom Prison blues.
Nice.
I included a Monopoly get out of jail free card. Just real dickish moves.
Yeah.
Pile of puns.
Yeah. She wrote back, which means two things. Number one, she knows where I live.
Oh, God.
Dun dun.
And number two, well, I have to read it and find out what happened.
Yeah, of course.
You know?
It's like a train wreck. You
And
gotta watch.
She's like, thank you for having talked about anything other than this. I made a huge mistake, and I'm just trying to get through it. She still hasn't been to trial for it. She's been in jail a year.
Damn. Yeah, brandishing a firearm is one thing, but actually pulling that trigger makes a whole different story.
Yeah. She's like, I hope you keep writing me. I don't really have a good social network. And I'm like, all right. So I was writing her. And then I got a girlfriend and had to explain this story to her. And I would just like to say she is the most understanding person I've ever been with.
That's awesome.
Because y'all have heard all of this train wreck history stories I have that I talk to about in front of strangers. And she's cool with it.
That's awesome. Do you incorporate any of those things in your bits?
Yeah, a lot of these are bits that I've just stacked.
Nice.
None of them ever sound the same. I try and do new material every time. Bronson Adams, if you ever get the chance to go see him, holy hell, that guy's funny. He straight up went, why would anybody come to see you if it's the same thing you've already done?
Yeah.
And that just really stuck out to me. So I'm trying to do new material every time.
That's good. I like storytelling that's inside the comedy, the stand-up comics bits, more so than the one-liners. I get it that one-liners have their place on the stage, but my preference is a storyteller that in their stories will, paint that image in my head of what's going on, and that's awesome.
Well, when the artist is as interesting as the art, like Van Gogh, his story is way better than his art, but that kind of thing.
Nice.
It's a crazy bitch. Just say it.
Dun 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 dun.
Yeah. You know a really scary thought. Here's something to think about. She's been in jail for a year, hasn't been to trial yet. If she fires her lawyer and gets a real one, she could be out next month.
Yeah, moving, thankfully, next week. So
Cutting all to done.
Well, can they listen to podcasts in prison?
You should write her a really, really poetic, like encouraging but firm goodbye from your current address, and then never write her again.
No, she actually got a boyfriend. And I wrote her. I'm like, congrats. I hope everything works out for you. I didn't know they had dating services in there. At least not voluntary ones.
It's a new way to find your true love. Go to jail.
Well, I mean,
what's the dating app in prison called? OkCupid is now
inmatesmeet.com.
It's called a sheet. You hang it in the doorway.
Dropinthesoap.com or dropped your phone.
Uh-oh.
Well, there are so many dating sites. There is a lizardpeoplemeet.com. The options are lizard person or Rush Limbaugh. That's it. Those are the two things you can identify as.
Oh,
wait, there's a difference?
I don't know. I'm not a lizard person. I halfway wanted to make a profile just to ask, explain this shit to me. This is gold.
Right.
but I didn't want that to come back on a background check. Just, you remember to lizardpeoplemeet.com? I don't think you should hire him. So here it is. Number one.
Number one.
Brutal.
Now, this is the most brutal one, and it's going to be a bit lengthy. So if you got a potty, do it now.
That's what she said.
No, that was R. Kelly. All right. So my number one is the one that completely devastated me the worst. This girl broke my heart. Now, I met her in high school. 2004. Shut up. It wasn't that long ago. And we fell for each other. We spent every second together. This was my best friend. Unfortunately, they don't teach you how to communicate in school ever, especially public school in the middle of Georgia. You kind of have to pick that up on your own. And it has taken me the entirety of my life to actually get good at communicating. Well, me and her, just a lot of changes. Graduating high school, went to prom together. We got our wisdom teeth taken out together, and we're just loopy on drugs for the first time ever.
Nice.
Yeah. Wonderful chick. My first love. Well, things start changing. We start getting irritable, and we don't communicate. If you don't communicate, stuff bottles up, and you end up being a terrible person and not yourself. And so we broke up, and it crushed me to where you could not mention her name around me without drunken debauchery happening.
We've all been there.
Well, 12 years pass. I joined the Marine Corps. I go overseas a couple times. I grow as a person. Maybe not in the best direction at times, but over time, you got to make some mistakes to learn. She contacts me, and she's like, "What happened?" And I'm like, for the first time ever, I just let her have it. I'm like, "You abandoned me. I had just gotten out of high school. I had not planned a damn thing. I lost my job or something. Like, I just was in a horrible place, and I'm sure I was a mopey, emo child to the 10th power."
Sure.
She thought I was miserable because of her. I thought she was miserable because of me, and we just split. Open communication. Again, the first step in healing and growing or anything. And she's like, "I never knew any of this. I still want to be friends." And I'm like, "I can't be just your friend. Like, hearing your name shakes me to the core. I don't know what love is, but I can't be your sunshine some of the time. You know, I can't be your friend. I'll either want to be your lover or we can't be anything, because I know I'm going to cross that line."
Yeah. That's an important line to distinguish, too.
Yeah.
I mean, that's mature for you to, recognize.
Well,
Instead of hoping that maybe it would eventually turn out different, you're admitting it up front. That's important.
True. And then we quit talking for a couple of months, and I see the one video, because back in the day we didn't have Google. You couldn't search shit. You just had to ask people until y'all as a group figured it out. And it was a movie called Little Monsters, like Ben Savage in
I remember that.
crawling under the beds with
Hell
the
yeah.
blue horns and shit. That was our thing that we figured out together, and went to Blockbuster Video back before there weren't anymore, and rented it and watched it together. And I saw that, and it's like, if you don't know who this is, you had a terrible childhood. And I'm like, well, good. It's going to be like me and 3 people that know who this is. So I drunkenly tag her in it with no other thought, no depth on any of this. Oh, also during the deployments, I kept her promise ring from high school on my dog tags. And my drummer ratted me out to it, to her about it.
Aw.
And she's like, "Well, why are you wearing that ring then?" And I'm like, "If you can't figure it out, we don't have anything to talk about." And, she hits me back. She's like, "You don't want me to talk to you. You tag me and stuff, like, pick something." And I'm like, "I want you back." And 3 days later, she changed her entire life just to be with me. And we've been together ever since.
We're talking about her?
Yes, you didn't get that?
No, I didn't get that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just listening to the whole love
I was waiting for
story.
the story arching scratch of she killed your dog or something. From based on the other ones. Holy shit, Trey!
His
That's
high
that
school
story.
sweetheart.
Yeah, I got
That's your
to-
worst date?
The 12
biggest-
years without her definitely were the worst.
Oh, he's
That's
better than Prince Tach
adorable.
now. He's more of a prince.
So I got her back.
Prince Trey.
That one that got away, I got her back, and I ain't letting go.
Nice, good on you, man.
So,
That's an awesome story.
That is my number one. She puts up with all of this travel and comedy and horrible stories from my past. And
that is the cherry on the top of the ice cream right there. I'm just saying. That was an awesome story. Holy shit.
I'm crying a little.
I'm about to get all teary over here myself.
I was looking at his notes earlier. Number 1 was blank. I was like,
was it really?
who the fuck is number 1? Have I heard this story before? He's like, it's a surprise.
Ooh.
Are you fucking
twist.
winging it or something?
Nah, dude, that was awesome.
so that is my top 10.
Dude, that's a great list. That's probably the best number 1 based on like how your stories have built up to this story arc. And then number 1 was just a complete change of direction in the story. And it was a love story at the end.
So
that's
when's
awesome.
the wedding?
Whoa, whoa, whoa. She hasn't even proposed yet.
Don't give her ideas. Andrea will propose to me if you let her think she can.
I mean,
do
it's
that.
worked out for others.
We've already had that
He told
in
me
the
he would
teamwork
say
circle.
no. He
No.
said he would say no if I proposed.
He wouldn't say no. He'd be really pissed at you.
It
'cause he'd
depends
have to
what
say
kind
yes.
of gun
Right.
you get him. See, when you propose to a guy, we don't want a ring. We want a gun that goes around our trigger finger.
Or a really nice watch.
Watches are nice.
If you go to Barrett, I'll say yes.
That was an awesome story and an awesome list, Trey. Thank you so much for sharing that with us.
Not a problem. Thank you for having me. Thank everyone for following and supporting me. I couldn't do it without you.
Yeah, to the listeners of Twisted 10, be sure to check out Trey's Facebook page. Be sure to check him out if you're in the area, like our boy we talked about earlier, friends of friends that know the show. If you're in the Georgia area or if you're ever down here in the Brevard County area when Trey happens to be doing one of the rooms down here as he's down here guesting and visiting down here, go check him out. Throw him some love. Let him know you heard about him from either the Twisted 10 or from our partner show, the Living Podcariously podcast. Because it's a small world, man. It's really unbelievable how close-knit of a community that podcast listeners are. But no, that's awesome. That's a great fucking list, dude. That was awesome. That was not what I was expecting. I did not know it was her until, by the way, she's, for the listeners, she's outside of our studio right now, just kind of talking with Stephanie.
That's because she has to hear these stories all the time. If you see any of the live streams I do, that is her on the phone. And one of my favorite things to do is to make her laugh because I see the camera shake
Shake
and
a
then
little
I
bit.
know she laughed.
It's a good litmus test.
Yeah, well, we listen to comedy all the time because we're on the road quite a bit. And one of my favorites is Christopher Titus. Like, that guy has been through hell.
Yeah.
And talks about it. And he calls it his therapy, which, God, this is so much better than anything the VA has ever done to me. I mean, for me, that it's amazing. And he explains the worst thing you can do to a comic, which of course she zeroes straight in on and decides to do to me. And if you ever really do want to fuck with a comedian, here it is. But realize we know too, and you will become our target and we will make you laugh. But all you do, if you want to mess with a comedian, sit in the front row and have no expression, a complete poker face the entire show, and the comedian will lose their mind trying to figure out why. She does that. She will purposely not laugh just to watch me squirm.
That's true love right there.
It is. I got her back, though, because later on in that same special, because he did a Valentine's Day special right after his divorce. And he talks about how he's been out the dating loop for a while and doesn't have any moves. And it's the worst move ever. And it's, you get up to a girl's ear and you just go, hey. And so we'll be getting hot and heavy or kissing or whatnot. And I'll just go up to her ear and just, hey. So it's
That's
fun.
hot.
Floor play. Hey, baby, guess what I'm going to do tonight?
Not if I don't get you first.
Oh, I guess that's a good point. Oh, all right. Trey, let's get some plugs out of the way at the end of the show here.
All right.
Plug your stuff again, where you're going to be in the next few weeks for our listeners that happen to be in that area to go see you, where you want our listeners to click on for supporting you and liking you and all that fun stuff. So take it away.
All right. The first one is GWC Intensity Wrestling. You can check them out on YouTube and watch. They are backyard wrestling. I went to high school with these guys. They even let me do a announcement in the very wrestling ring. And
Nice.
I hope Skrilla and D's Nuts, one of my favorite wrestlers, keep it going as long as they can. The next one is HT Rosen, David HT Rosen on Facebook, or you can just go to www.htrosen.com. He is half of Jew and a Black Guy. And you can check that website out at ajewandablackguy.com, but you may want to put the privacy setting on first just so you don't have to answer questions later. But they are hilarious. They're a duo. There is, of course, Learn to Shoot Again and honoredveteran.org that does teach our amputated veterans how to shoot again after you've lost an arm or a leg or any part of yourself.
Nice.
They know exactly how to work with you and how to get things done. Rick actually has invented and patented things just to make it easier on single-handed shooters. And you can check that out. It's called the Quick Clip LLC.
You sent me that in the past, and I
did.
forgot to put that in one of our shows. I got to get that on Living Pod Curiously. Okay, we'll get that in there.
It's an awesome invention to where you won't need a sling.
Nice.
Is anybody working on a modular gun arm yet for amputees?
Rick's doing some new stuff with his prosthesis.
Like a mount for modular
Yeah, he's
rifle or
got
something?
Yeah, he's got one for I think his pistol AR. It's just I don't know what he does and doesn't have, and I don't want the ATF to lose their mind because.
Are you talking about like a prosthetic that has a gun built into the prosthetic?
Exactly.
Oh, wow.
For someone like that in a situation like a police officer who's still physically capable with the lack of an arm.
Sure.
Okay, well, you can still, if you can perform the test. I was just wondering if they had something like that. Trey would be the guy who knows.
Yeah, he actually performs shooting competition where he has to switch guns. That's why the quick clip is a thing, because he needs it to be there. He can't hold it out of the way with a sling and move forward.
Understood. Huh.
And he's a wonderful guy. He trained me for the Marja invasion when I was in the Marine Corps.
Hey, baby, when you yawn on mic, it gets picked up. All right, I'll have to edit that out.
Fault. He yawned and it made me yawn.
Yeah, push the mic away. Just do one of these.
It just hit me. I was fine, and then
All right.
I looked at him and I was like, "Oh, great."
All right, who gave her a Cosby?
I'll give her a Cosby. I'll put it in her pudding.
Oh. All right. Aaliyah Goucher, spelled Ghosheh. She runs the comic strip comedy show in Athens, and it's featuring the best comedians of Athens, Atlanta, and beyond. They've had me several times. It's where I meet a lot of wonderful comedians. It is never a bad time when one of her shows goes on.
Sweet.
And she'll be coming down for the show the 30th. That is June 30th. It is a Friday at 8 p.m. at Rocco's Bar in Bon Air. Y'all come out and check it out. I have over 2 hours of comedy, and it's only a $5 cover.
Nice.
Swerve and Irvin, and that's Irvin with an E. He is the guy that pushed me onto stage for the first time as a stand-up comic, mostly because he needed a ride, but the rest of it just because... I've been telling these stories for years.
Yep.
I call y'all with the most bizarre, crazy nonsense ever. And he's like, dude, you understand people would pay to see and hear these stories, and you can quit boring us with them. And I'm like, well, you're making a good point. Let's go do this. And we did. And it was
nice.
Wonderful.
That's awesome.
There is Cox Capitol Theater, where myself and HT Rosen will be performing. Cox Capitol Theater is right there in Macon. You'll be able to see my name on it. July 25th. And we'll have an event on the Tall Trey Comedy page on Facebook if y'all want to set up and attend there.
Very cool. We might try to get you to, right, if you're coming down for the July 7th event, we might try to get you one of the rooms with either Ray Brito or with Jay Alvarez if they've got spots open. If it's not like a feature show or something, if they've got any openings, and get you on that, and we'll promote the shit out of that with you too.
Hey, that would be wonderful. I feel at home on stage. Like everybody, it's not performing. It's not an act. This is me. This is my fucked up life. Welcome to the shit show. I want to thank Old School Pizza for having me so many times.
Old School.
And, of course, the Reboot Retro Arcade in Macon. If you have $10 in your pocket and want to have a great afternoon, that's where you need to go in Macon. Go stop at the Rookery and grab a hamburger. Mideast Peace Production. Buddy Danny Davis started the company. It is wonderful. That's all the promotion I have other than myself. Thank you all for listening to me. Thank you for promoting me. Thank you for having me.
Hell yeah. Of course, man. It's our honor to have you in here with us. We've wanted to do this for several months. We also got to get you back in on Living Podcariously again. Have you come sit in on one of the nights of shenanigans that we have in here. Because
I'd love that.
Those shows are getting more fun and more fun. Twisted 10 is nationally, it's more popular. Living Podcariously is more Central Florida. I mean, it's got more numbers in Central Florida.
Well,
than
they know about you in Georgia too.
That's fucking awesome, dude. That's. I'm honored for a stranger to meet another stranger and having a coincidence in common for listening to our podcast. This little homegrown grassroots style podcast that we're doing is making a few waves, and we're really happy about that. Dan, you have anything you want to plug before we wrap up the show?
Anything I want to plug?
Yeah.
I'm not really involved with anything important.
All right.
Yeah, no. I was going to make a comment about why living podcariously is going to be better in Florida.
Yeah, do it.
It's good for Florida kind of people. If in the rest of the country, podcariously would be maybe a little bit risque. In Florida, it's barely middle of the road.
Yeah.
So you can capture a large demographic with it because we're fucking crazy down here.
They are. I saw an ambulance towing a fishing boat right when I got into the state line. I'm like, what the hell is that? How on call are y'all?
All right, baby, you ready to get out of here?
You didn't ask me if I wanted to plug anything.
Oh, where can our listeners and
That's not what I
Trey
asked.
find
No,
you?
That's not.
No. All right, Andrea, what do you want to plug?
Maybe a lamp in beside the bed because it's really hard to see when it's dark.
You just got to get you a hat light.
She just.
I'm really disappointed at that answer.
I was expecting sexual.
If it just came out.
Just remember, strap on backwards is no parts. Spell it out. Yeah, you know
Holy
I'm right.
shit. That's pretty good. I like that.
Ooh,
In all reality,
thoughts.
where can our listeners and our friends find you?
Brent Allen Salon and Day Spa located in Cocoa.
Should we have her do that again and we both yawn through it? All right, say it again. She's giving me an evil look. You see that?
You got to be careful, Adam. She's old enough to know who Lorena Bobbitt is.
That's true.
People don't know who that is.
No,
there's a lot of people.
I
That
had
don't know
somebody
who that
ask
is.
me what a Sega was.
What?
Yeah.
Oh,
We're old? Oh,
yeah,
no.
we're definitely old.
Once you have to buy more than 2 packs of candles, yeah, you're old.
All right, so go check out our Facebook page, facebook.com/thetwisted10. Give us those 5. Well, we're going to beg for you to give us those 5-star ratings and reviews. Those things mean more to us than you guys know. That allows us to get cooler guests in here, and it grows the show in popularity. I mean, the 5 stars help us grow. So your little 5 seconds of time means the world to us. So if you can, go hook us up with that 5-star review. If you like the show, if you didn't, then rate it what you want. We only want 5 stars though. If you have a question for the show or want to recommend a topic for us, send it to thetwisted10@gmail.com. And yeah, I guess that's about it. So Trey, thank you so much for your top 10 list tonight. It was fantastic. That's the best twist ending to an episode that I've ever heard. That was an awesome way to wrap it up, and partially because I didn't know who you were talking about in the story till the very end of the story. Dan, thank you for coming up here tonight. You and your beautiful wife came up again, and we love having you guys in studio anytime you're interested in coming. You know that.
Oh man, it's great because this isn't a work night, so I could really sit here and just relax and
That's
not
a
worry
good point.
about time.
Me too.
And Andrea, I love it that you're here. Greatly appreciate seeing you again.
You're welcome. I mean, it took a lot to get here, but I make it happen.
For the Podcast Mafia, I'm going to do a couple quick shout outs. Thank you to Ray Burrito and Christopher Neil Walker for giving us such a great, a 15-minute infomercial on their podcast on Gallows Humor. I couldn't have paid you guys to do anything better. That was fantastic. We greatly appreciate it. For the listeners out there, Ray Brito hosts a comedy podcast where he interviews other stand-up comics in the area and occasionally some goofballs like me. I've been on it in the past. That's called Gallows Humor Podcast. Christopher Neil Walker has a podcast called Here's What's Wrong With You. He's got an unbelievably sarcastic way about him. So check out the show. It's an amazing show. The two of them together are fucking gold on microphones. They should have figured that out by now and done a podcast together. They're fantastic. Also in the Podcast Mafia, I want to give a shout out to the Burn It Down Show podcast. We're going to wish them good luck and send our followers and our listeners to support them in their bowling tournament up against O&O Radio Show out of Orlando. PDC, we're going to give you a quick shout out as well. Anthony Hayes. Anthony Hayes has a new book that he's got out on surviving depression. We'll put it in the show notes and the links so you can check out his book. He already hit in the top 100 on Amazon after about 2 weeks. So, Anthony, good job, man. We're proud of you for doing what you're doing. Keep your thing up. And he does a podcast called Me, Myself, and I Radio. I think that's it. We'll get out of here?
Yeah.
All right. So, on behalf of Dan, Tall Trey Comedy, Andrea Joy, and myself, we greatly appreciate you listening, and we'll talk to you next week.
Wait. Don't hit stop on the episode just yet. Hey, this is Tach from the podcast you just listened to. And if you enjoy living podcariously or the Twisted 10, then you're going to love my new podcast I co-host with my lifelong buddy, Ron Caniff. It's called You're 40, Now What? It's about the trials and tribulations of turning 40 and just getting through life. So check it out on iTunes, Google Play Music, and anywhere you listen to podcasts. Thanks. Now go give someone a mouth hug.